really played well as a team and we were shooting 1 to 2 guys on the break every game and breaking out 5 alive. So that made such a big difference, which made a huge push for us up the snake after that, and that would close out the games for us. So give it a whirl again today.
All right, we will see Boom versus Aftershock. Stay tuned, it's coming up.
Welcome back here, 2014 PSP World Cup. I'm Matty Marshall, Todd Martinez, and Chris Osoya sitting right next to me, and we are about to watch big game here. Chicago Aftershock went 1-1 yesterday. They need to win this match to continue to have a chance here in this Challengers Division. Weren't able to make it out of the Challengers Division at the West Coast Open as they lost in the semifinals when they played San Antonio X Factor. So on the flip side, Boom haven't really flirted with getting into the Champions Division yet this year, but they went 2-0 yesterday, so they got a shot, man. If they can put a win up right now against Chicago Aftershock, that would put them 3-0 and give them a real good chance of getting into the semifinals, depending on how the rest of the teams shake out in that division. And we have about 10 seconds to go before the start of this first point here. Shock is going to start. Chris Jansen, McNamara. I'm sorry, this is Boom. Chris Jansen, McNamara, Jason Dennis, Kevin Wank, Ryan Etchinger on the field right now for Boom. Carl Markowski, Rob Velez, AJ Lawhead, Brian McKenna on the field right now for Chicago Aftershock. Looks like McKenna the first to walk off. Chris Sosine, other player out there. He comes out to back up Markowski and the Snake. Markowski, blazing wheels Markowski. Carl is just looking like, well, Shock is chopping up bodies in front of him. Yeah. 3 bodies coming off. AJ Lawhead getting 2 kills, now 4 bodies. Rob Velez with the kill. And here comes Carl Markowski to try to sprint down the field. Carl's one of my favorite players to watch because of how explosive he is, and Aftershock is one of my favorite teams to watch, so real glad that we get to see one of their Challengers Division games out here on the MABE webcast field. So Shock making quick work of Boom here to score the first point. Make it 1-0. Carl giving himself a little check before he hangs it up.
Aftershock just running all over the place. Markowski out to the Snake. Lawhead comes up the middle. Looked like Boom shot 1 player off the break off the Dorito side. Looked like he was going to make a move up far on that Dorito side right away off of that kill, but then Lawhead came right up the middle and chopped him in half. And they continued on down the line, shooting bodies over here on the Snake side.
So looking at the differences here in the game matchup, on the attack, Aftershock, that's their specialty. Aftershock plays a brutal brand of paintball. Their coach, Mikey Bruno, does not suffer any weak people, and he wants only the hardest of the hardcore, guys that push aggressive. That's why their attacking stat is so high. But they're not so good at defending, though they have Chris Sosine on the squad now since partway through last season, and that was really huge for them, helping out their finishing metric, but still have yet to prove that they're, you know, in those clutch situations coming through, which is why they're stuck down in the Challengers Division right now. Boom, on the other hand, again, still a team on the rise, and still waiting for them to show us something here. Just think that, you know, we maybe potentially will one day see them in the Champions Division. But we didn't get to watch their games yesterday, but Boom did really well yesterday. Boom, again, went 2-0 No, I'm sorry, Boom went 1-1 yesterday. So Boom lost to VCK, and then Boom was able to defeat Red Storm, but that was a huge win for them as they defeated Red Storm 7-0.
Jeez, Red 7-0. We've seen a lot of those matches out here today, or you know, these past couple days as well. You know, a lot of big point spreads. You know, that first Champions Division was rough. You know, I saw all 3 of those teams go 3-1, but you know, a lot of big spreads out there.
And like you said, Matty, earlier, 3-1 is not going to guarantee you into the finals on Sunday.
Yeah, you know, we saw San Antonio X Factor play awesome in the prelims. They went 3-1, but so did the Ironman and so did Art Chaos. And down to the tiebreaker rules, they'd send Ironman in and Art Chaos in. So now here, Boom losing a body, but it looks like Shock loses a body on the D side as well too. It's Rob Velez, and here comes Carl. Look at Carl Markowski. Oh my God, off to the races, Carl Markowski. And it looks like we might have a penalty on Boom.
That is awesome.
And I think Carl might have traded out with that back center guy. No, he's clean.
Yeah,
and that's a red flag. So Carl not only blows the side out, but gets Boom to draw a major penalty.
Good call, man.
That was one of the most dynamic moves that we have seen all tournament long from the very exciting Carl Markowski.
His burst speed is so fast.
I hope we have a replay of that. I don't know if the cameras are able to pick it up though.
Fair enough.
So there's Chris Sosine walking off. And it's going to go 2-0 in favor of Chicago Aftershock.
There's Coach Mikey Bruno talking to Brian McKenna.
Yeah, also Planet Eclipse doing a documentary called The Roster. Last year it featured World Champ San Antonio X Factor. This year it's Chicago Aftershock. Fascinating look behind the scenes at the blue collar ballers, man. It's hard to do what Chicago Aftershock does. They're not one of the super highly funded teams, so they have to drive for hours for practice and play drive through the snow. So real good behind the scenes look at a bunch of the young up and coming guys on Chicago Aftershock. Let's check out this replay. So look at Carl. Carl launches and just keeps going heads up off to the races here. And finally gets his gun up as soon as he sees bodies, and everyone turns to try to shoot at Carl, and there he goes, there flashing past your screen, and takes out both those players, and also getting a penalty drawn on that center guy who was begging for a trade right there, saying he felt he shot Carl first. But it looks like Major end up getting called. So Mikey Bruno, let's get the referee update here on the field.
We had a major penalty on number 20 for Boom, playing on with an obvious hit. The result pulled the last live player for Boom, resulting in an automatic point for Aftershock.
So that is going to send the score to 2-0 like we talked about, and there's no one left to pull, or there was only been, they didn't get in the box in time, so it's full 2 minutes. 2-minute major penalty. You want to try to stay away from those as much as you possibly can. So here we go on the power play for Chicago Aftershock.
And there goes Boom, losing a body. Off the Dorito side right away.
I was just going to say with that Markowski run, Todd, he went literally coast to coast. And I don't think we've seen that on this snake side yet at this event.
But when he did it so fast, Matty.
Yeah, so.
Like by the time I saw him, he was on their side of the field.
Yeah, so he's sitting out this one, but Aftershock doing well again. Rob Velez clocking in for another kill. AJ Lawhead has 4 confirmed already here. And Brian McKenna, Sosine, and David Barga, new player for Chicago Aftershock out there.
And Chris Sosine, just a stellar player. On your screen, I know there's Boom, trying to hold it down 2-0 in favor of, he takes one in the face. And there's Chris Sosine.
Rob Velez running through and stabbing the last player in the Dorito 1. Too much Aftershock right now. Just coming from all distances.
Yeah, I mean, and now with this penalty, we'll see Shock going to try to run the score up. I mean, they didn't lose a body on that one. 17:37 to go, so 3 really fast points here for Shock. Skunk it out, Boom right now. Let's check out this split screen replay here. So look at these breaks. So these are synced up perfect. And it looks like, see Shock going to the snake right away. And that's the difference in the aggression. And you can see Boom still playing a little more conservatively. But hey, they were down a body to start with. And then Shock going to continue forward. So there's Big Chris Sosine talking to Mike Bruno. Let's listen in real quick. So they're getting ready to go. And we're going to be right back after this. Back in the pits here with Chicago Aftershock. There's Tilkanen. Jacob Tilkanen coming out of Sweden, actually, and he was the guy. Aftershock had like a 100-person tryout at the beginning of the year and picked up one guy. That's the guy, Tilkanen. So it looks like timeout has been called here by, I'm guessing, Boom, because nothing's going wrong with Shock. In fact, everything possibly could go right is going right for them. But that's going to give Mikey Bruno a little bit more time to pump his guys up here. Give him a little bit last-minute instruction.
There's one of the Bargas.
So he's new on the team.
Two new guys picked up from from the Badlands, bro.
You know, I've been trying to do a podcast with Mikey Bruno for like 4 months now. He's so hard to wrangle down. And not only that, so last week, I'm like, hey, can we possibly, maybe, potentially, perhaps do that podcast that you keep saying that we're going to do and then flaking out on me? And I love Mikey, but so Mikey's like, man, I'm in the hospital right now. And I'm like, what? And he's like, yeah, I had this gnarly infection in my leg. They said I could have died, might have lost my leg, but I made it. And I'm like, oh my God, Mikey, man, come on. So Mikey almost had his leg amputated last week, but he's back. And we're on this little timeout here. We're going to be right back as well. Stick with us. Back in the pits right now, and then gonna get right out here to this game. So Aftershock at full strength, still 57 seconds on that Boom penalty, but Ravelez, one of the killers for Shock, coming off early here, evening up the body count. Oh, but Boom losing another one. Jason Dennis takes the walk, so Velez shot him before he walked off. But another body coming off on that D side. However, AJ Lawhead real far up in the snake past the 50-yard line, and he's gonna get picked up. He might be getting a penalty there. So Lawhead riding the edge, but somehow cleaning out both those players. So Thole, Aaron Thole, gonna hang that flag up.
Everybody getting involved now for Chicago Aftershock as they just keep running these points off the board. That's 2. Still 28 seconds left on the penalty. If you're Boom, you just got to get somewhere alive and get this penalty burnt. But Chicago Aftershock, yeah, they're a team that likes to run down the field fast and furious.
Well, it's working for them right now.
Yeah. Give them an opportunity, and here they come.
Shutting Boom out. So let's check in with Lauren Kelly. Lauren, what do you got for us?
Hey guys, looks like Aftershock is taking the lead here, but I wanted to bring you an update from the Challenger field. Top Gun versus CEP played their last prelim matches. Top Gun beat CEP 7-2. Top Gun went 2 for 2 in the prelims, and CEP was not able to win any of their matches. Now back to this, and I will be bringing you updates from the Dynasty versus Infamous game.
Yeah, so can't wait to see what happens in that Dynasty Infamous game. Something that would have been a finals match in tournaments past, especially beginning part of the year when both those teams were playing really well. Nope, that's actually a prelim game down in the Challengers division, because Dynasty underperforming at the last 2 events, as particularly at the last one where they lost to Houston Heat to send them to the Challengers division, and Infamous has been stuck down there for 3 events.
Hey, 30 seconds.
So there's Tilkanen right there. So Shock only played 3 minutes of game time, able to score 4 points thus far. And with 28 seconds left on that major penalty for Boom, it's, you know, they're just going to have to try to get out wide and fight and get their other guy out of the box to get back to full strength and hopefully win a point for all the Boom fans out there.
Yeah, I look for Shock to go up the middle again, just right away. Shooting, they're going to take somebody on the corner.
So McNamara, Wank, Weaver, and Gerhard are out on the field, but it looks like Weaver gets shot as soon as he turns his gun around, so that's just going to have now 3 Boom players left alive for them to try to fight against 5 Aftershock players. And now Aftershock with the field spread, getting into the snake. Again, still 5 strong and a cross field spread. Into the snake they go. Oh, but Tholey catching one out of his bunker, so Tholey's gonna take the early walk. And here comes the move up the D side, but Boom able to get to the 50-yard line on the D side. They still have, looks like they got their guy out of the box, so there's 2 players left alive for Boom though. It's Gerhard and Wenk. Gerhard, 4 confirmed kills for him, so he's been doing some work. Maxwell.
Yeah, 3 bodies are walking off the Dorito side for Chicago Aftershock.
Oh, nice shot across the field by number 17 right there.
Barga,
nice shot by Barga. And then also taking out the snake player, leaving 1 player alive for Aftershock. And that's going to do it. That's number 7.
The other Barga.
The other Barga.
Second Barga.
So there's a David Barga and a Sean Barga. Looks like David Barga was the one alive to hang that flag. Shane Barga on the attack. 3 confirmed kills for Sean Barga. Taking that score to 5-0 in a straight old school Aftershock beating of Boom thus far. But for Boom, they are finally back at full strength. Got demolished in that power play though for Shock, on Shock's power play. So now here in the pits, taking a look at Mikey Bruno talking to his boys. And we're going to be right back with more of this Shock Boom matchup. See you in a second. Shock in the blue, Boom in the brown. Here we go, next point. Boom getting completely shut out. Can they put a point on the board here? Boom was 1-1 before this game. Aftershock 1-1 as well. Aftershock has to play VCK for their last game. Boom losing a body though as they were back to full strength, but no, 4 bodies alive for them. Shock at 5. They have AJ Lawhead, David Barga, Brian McKenna, Chris Sosine, and Andy Horvath out there.
On your screen, AJ Lawhead going to work in the snake for Aftershock, shooting across the field.
Got that kill.
Nice shot across the field, Batty.
I think he got another one too. So
I think he got 2 actually.
Might have 3.
Well, that's the 3rd right there. Way to go, Batty.
That might have been 4 actually. I'm not. I think for sure AJ Lawhead had a 3-pack on this point. He might have also got a shot on Weaver, I believe. So he might have a 4-pack, but that's why we have stats guys. So another just straight beat down, and another quick point here, and another point where Aftershock did not lose a body. So AJ Lawhead, so far 7 confirmed kills for him, but I think he just added to that. Well, regardless, still amazing job by Lawhead and the rest of the boys here from Chicago Aftershock, as it looks like they might be shutting out Boom here completely.
Yeah, they're just serving Boom up right now. Every which way. That penalty definitely hurts Boom. Aftershock was able to run up a ton of penalties, but back in full strength. I mean, those first couple points and that last point right there. I mean, just running game on Boom right now. I'm sure there's no love lost. Boom, a team out of Chicago as well.
Yeah.
So.
And Boom, again, the road's long, man. They've been doing this for a while, coming up through the ranks. Another one of those awesome teams come up through the divisional ranks and now trying to throw down. And we've seen success stories there. VCK made it to the Champions Division. They're knocked back down. But we want to see what Rebels got here this afternoon. That's one of the interesting stories. Going to play themselves out. They're 1-1. We'll be right back after this. So looking at Aaron Tholey and Chris Sosine looking at their boys who are just doing phenomenal work right now against Boom. And Carl Markowski off to the races again, all the way to the 50-yard line. Still alive. Good to go. And now he's going to have a shot cross field. Boom losing 2 bodies already. Carl Markowski, no one on this side. He can crawl all the way down now. Boom, though, making the move into the snake. So somebody's got to let Carl know that.
Oh, Carl shooting across the field, Maddie. Nice shot. And also the snake player going down for Boom. Boom not looking good.
Well, as soon as Carl figures out that there's just one player left alive, he's going to cut through the center and bunker this guy out.
He's going to jump in the highway and just murder this guy.
Yeah, so here he comes. And he's going to wait patiently. Oh, what a nice, that was a nice accurate shot. Yeah.
That was.
He waited, calm and methodical, just posted up right as soon as he could get clear. And just one shot right there on number 20's goggles, Ryan Ettinger. So Ettinger, last player left alive here in this just complete, trying to come up with more adjectives for destruction right now. Running out of ways to say demolish. But amazing work by Chicago Aftershock. So Shock is going to go 2-1 now. And again, still has to play VCK this afternoon. Last game in the Challengers Division may decide their fate. Because if they go 2-2, they might not be able to play in the semifinals. You know, in case you're new to this, the way that the Champions and Challengers Division works, 2 teams come up and 2 teams go down every single event. The bottom 4 teams in the Champions League play in relegation games. The loser of those matches, they have to go down to the Challengers Division. In the Challengers Division, the top 4 teams play in the semifinals. All these games are going down tomorrow morning. The top 4 teams play in the semifinals of the Challengers Division, and the winners of the semifinals, they both move up into the Champions League for 2015 for the first event. They will play each other also in the winner of the semifinals matches in a Challengers Division final to determine who will win it for seeding points. But still, winning the semifinal matchups in the Challengers Division, that's the holy grail in the Challengers Division. That's where you want to be if you're in that spot. Again, 3 huge teams are down there: Shock, Infamous, and Dynasty. So Dynasty Dynasty's running a racket on the Challengers Division.
And they're playing right now too as well.
They've played 3 games. You're playing Infamous right now. So that will determine kind of, you know, for bragging rights over on that thing. But Dynasty, 3 games, 21 points, 4 won against.
That's a murder scene.
Well, I even talked to Shane Pastana, who practiced Dynasty, and apparently Dynasty crushed the Ironman in practice because they're just so angry about the situation that they're in.
Yeah, I heard that conversation.
Yeah,
actually.
so we're going to have Shane Pastana come up in the booth a little bit to just help out with some play-by-play. But yeah, so let's check in with Lauren Kelly before we head to this next match.
Hey guys, I'm standing here with Carl Markowski and Coach Mikey Bruno of Aftershock. Congratulations, you guys just blew Boom out of the water 7-0. In that last play, you got pretty much down to 50 snake off the break. How easy is it to get into the snake off the break, and what bunkers can you see once you get down to the 50?
It's not that easy. I mean, there's a couple really good lanes where guys can get you, and it's really, I feel kind of a 50-50 because this whole weekend it's been 50-50 going in the snake, and luckily this time I had the upper hand on making it to the snake. But really, once you get in, it's pick your spot and just shoot your spot because there's 18 knuckles on the thing, so it's really wherever you want to go if there's not a corner or a snake.
So going into that last point, did you just decide to try to make it, seeing as you had such a large point spread anyway?
Well, we definitely wanted to finish the game, and we had luck the first couple points of me running the snake off the break, so we figured we close it out, and luckily it worked out for us.
All right. Mikey, you guys have been playing well this weekend, but you did have a hard lose to Thunder yesterday, which was kind of a surprise. Can you kind of play down what happened during that match?
Yesterday we just made some real mental mistakes, just penalties and stuff that's plagued us forever. We just did a bonehead move with 3 seconds left and got a major that kind of cost us that overtime point, but we shouldn't have been in that position anyway. If a lot of people would have done a lot of other things, we would have been okay. So we're just hoping to get right back on track and just make it to Sunday. That's all we're trying to do.
All right, well, so far it looks good for you guys, so congratulations on that huge win. Next up, we have Damage versus Revo, so stay tuned.